Hey friends, it is Thursday before the market, and basically I spent today just like purchasing the flowers, taking them all apart, putting them in buckets so kind of everything is ready to go for tomorrow, and just basically like prepping to make sure that tomorrow, oh, we got a cat, prepping to make sure that tomorrow can go as fast as possible. I have a few new little things this year and I want to show them to you. Hey, come here. This is Mittens, by the way, and Mittens is quite the suck. She likes attention. Or maybe it's a he. I don't know. I haven't looked that closely. There you go. Okay, first, little buckets. Something like this, I don't really know what I'm going to use it for at the outset, but even for weddings, it's just nice to maybe like store some of the boutonnieres. They're a little taller than I expected. I got them off of Amazon Business, but I find that this little thing can be surprisingly useful. I have a few things printed off that I'm going to use this year. So someone gave me the great idea for markets when you're supposed to add like a little thing to give a coupon for your booth off, like at the market, because I find that when I make a coupon for a purchase later on, like nobody ever uses it, ever looks at it, so it doesn't make sense. But maybe someone will come to my booth, and I felt like it printed really cute, very happy with it. Then a lot of times I get asked if I do weddings, and I've never really had like a wedding specific thing to give to people, so I had this postcard printed up with one of my bouquets. And then on the back, it just has a little information about my kind of wedding and all my social and stuff. So I thought this was also pretty cute. So experimenting more with ribbon. And so I got this off of Amazon Business. I thought these are really, really beautiful. The only thing is like the width is not quite as thick as I would have liked, or as wide as I would have liked, but we'll play around with these. I don't know why it took me so long, but did you know? You can just buy these. It's not a big deal. They're very inexpensive. So anything like this that I can have that removes a barrier to people purchasing my product is like A+. And finally, I've wanted to try this Korean wrapping paper that's supposed to not get wet in water. Oh, hello. Hello. I've really wanted to try this Korean wrapping paper that doesn't get wet in water, and I'm excited about the pink and like the little gold. So I think those are really gonna up level my bouquet. Another thing I did to prepare for this market is to price out every single stem. So normally when it's my own flowers, I sort of have in my head like, you know, what's $1, what's $2, what's $1.50. I just feel like I know. With my purchase flowers, I feel like I don't know because I'm not used to purchasing flowers. We have a visitor. So basically I went through and I knew how much I paid for every single bundle, and then I divided that by the stems, and I wasn't like perfect with the math. So for example, say if something was like $1.35, I just said it was $1.50. If something was, you know, like if it was close, I just sort of rounded up, and I wanted to be everything at like $1, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, and $2. And I just felt like that made the math easier for me. And then knowing that I rounded everything up, if I want to throw in an extra stem of greenery from like what I pick around the acreage, then I know I can do that, and I still have some wiggle room in that price. I also took the sort of an average price of $150 and then worked backwards from the price points that I wanted to have and figured out approximately how many stems is that. Now I can finesse that once I sort of know what my recipes are, but I just wanted like a base number going into tomorrow. So for example, I thought, well, 25 is kind of a nice price point. How many stems would that be? I did the math and I'm like, oh, it's 6 stems. That's not very much. You know what? I feel like that's just not going to translate with the kind of flowers I have. So then I went to 35 and I'm like, okay, that's 8 stems. It's not much better, but it's at least like somewhat reasonable. And then if I throw a few of those greens, because I've rounded everything up, I should end up all right. And then following that math, the $65 price point was about, hey, what are you? The $65 price point was about 14 stems. And then if I wanted to try for like a 97, that ended up being around 21 stems. So Again, we're not set in stone with this, but at least I'm going in knowing that like I am making my bouquets with profit in mind and I'm not just guessing. And of course, this is a 3 times markup. So I really love the Sask Maker Sale. I find I'm often successful at this market, but the one frustrating thing with this market is that it's right when I should be planting out everything. So I feel like in a sense, I'm basically losing a day of planting tomorrow, which at least at this point, it's not like I'm behind or anything, but the weather's so good. I just want to get everything in as fast as possible. Also, I didn't think that I would actually get to have any of my own flowers at all besides just a little bit of greenery in my bouquets, but let me show you something very, very exciting that does not happen often where I live. Look at these. We have tulips that could feasibly be ready by Saturday. Morning YouTube, we are getting an early start and it's time to cut a couple of greens. I specifically didn't buy any greens because those we can definitely get here on the acreage. So we're just cutting off some of the younger lilacs. There's some poplars that look nice, and we really lucked out because this one reedy tree that blooms pink is just perfect. Let me show you. I don't know what it's called, but I mean, these little pink blossoms are going to be so perfect, and I bet they'll be open tomorrow.
Yeah, I wanna build a life worth living. I wanna be rich cause I wanna be given. I feel the time keeps ticking. I wish I had more, but I'll take what's given. I just wanna pop cause I've been working a lot. I think I deserve a shot, I think I deserve a spot. Cause it's been years on this path that I walked, and if I keep going, I pray I'll be at the top. When I dream big, yeah, I commit. Wanted this life since I was a little kid. Never thought twice, I just did what I did. Worked towards it and now I have an addiction. I've been living life like a dream, like it's fiction. I've been doing things like I have no restrictions. I don't plan to stop, no I don't plan on quitting. Everything I do, yeah, I do it with conviction. I will never give up, I will never give in. Everything I do, yeah, I do it with conviction. I've been on a mission, I ain't never quitting. Everything I do, yeah, I do it with conviction.
Cassidy and I are almost finished all of the bouquets. It was a pretty big job, but we've been able to bang it out in about 2 hours. Probably by the time we're done, it'll be 2.5 of like actual bouquet making time. And then of course, you know, we had to set everything up. So that kind of took an additional 2 hours, but I feel like that's really good. And we've churned it a lot more. So I'm going to go over to the tulips, and I think we have a few we can harvest. Look at these. The harvesting stage for market is always a little bit tricky because, you know, normally I wouldn't want to like have things quite so blown open, but at the same time, if they're not a certain amount of blown open, they won't sell. So it's such a balancing act, but I'm going to pull these. They're going to stay in the garage all day. So hopefully they won't open up too much more. And they're only going in the $10 bouquet arrangements. So like, it's okay if they're not perfect. Today has been a good but super exhausting day so far. So after we got all the flowers done at lunch, I had a little bit of a rest. Then I went into town at 2:30 because of course my perennials arrived this week, and of course they are completely on the other side of the city, on the other side of the highway, and take like an hour to get there. And of course there's 2 accidents making everything really difficult to get to, but we got the perennials. We got a Mother's Day delivery, like an extra one that had been already set up, and everything is okay. But wow, I do not want to go pack up and do the thing tonight at all. But tomorrow morning's Kristen will thank me. Right now is Kristen. Anyway, it'll all be for good. Let's get this done. The setup might not be perfect. I'm still missing a few things, but we are done for the day. So let us rest, regroup, and I'll see you in the morning. It's just before 1 o'clock and it has been so busy. I have barely had a chance for a break. I've basically gone just to like dump water in the bathroom so that my display looks nice and like try to floof it up. But I am very, very close to being sold out. And it's a good thing I have the gardening books because at least I'm able to like put those on the table and just sort of make it look like I have something to sell. But we have, I don't know, there's maybe like 5 eucalyptus bouquets. I have no normal bouquets, and then I have maybe like 6 mini bouquets. So we're almost done. All right, and the sale is done. It was an extremely successful sale. I feel like I sold most of my product by about 2 p.m. The eucalyptus and baby's breath wraps were not as popular as they were last year, so I could have actually probably just not made them and focused on more flowers and probably sold out. And it was interesting because I talked to another vendor who did paintings, and she sort of noticed a similar thing, that all of her neutral colored paintings were just not selling, and everything that was colorful was flying off the shelves. So I guess people's tastes have changed since 2023, which, you know, is not really, I guess, that surprising, but you know, always a little learning curve for those of us who are selling things. So we are not done. We gotta go check the tulips and see if there's enough to warrant a quick little Mother's Day sale and like preemptively sort of open our roadside stand before the roadside stand really even exists, but like we would make it work. So let's go see. So sorry in advance if this sounds really bad because of the wind. It's quite windy out here, but you know, the tulips should just not do exactly what I thought they would. So the one variety, like the earliest blooming one, it's kind of a purpley one, that is definitely ready and there's lots of usable stems. But there's 2 other varieties that I was so certain would just pop open during the day and they haven't. So I don't think it's quite enough to like open a stand, but maybe enough to do some pop-up sales. Okay, so that's settled. I'm gonna arrange some more stuff tonight, but like I need a break. I am super de-duper tired, so I'm gonna rest for about an hour or 2. But before I come back and film, I just wanted to take a little aside and show you my chicken eggs because why not? We have some new layers. Look at that nice shade. And I've got this pretty similar, and then of course like a nice blue. I guess I can show you the rest of them. I mean, they're just like blues and greens and brown, of course. But here they are. I absolutely love keeping chickens and collecting eggs. And here is our little harvest. You know, not bad. Usually tulips are next to impossible where I live for Mother's Day, so I'll take it. And let's go get some other stuff. Looks like that pink weed tree is giving for me, thankfully. Seriously, I don't know what this is, but I love it. All right. Got these. I am running out of light, so I'm gonna do just a super quick tour of maybe like one other spot on the acreage that I think might have something, but it might be too early. And then we got to make some arrangements and post whatever we can. So it's been a week since the market, and now that all the craziness has settled down, got the final numbers, let's talk a little bit about what worked and what didn't. So in general, the market was very successful overall. I wish that I hadn't brought as many eucalyptus and baby's breath things as I said before, but how was I to know? One thing that was a terrible idea were those coupons that I handed out. In my mind, I was expecting people to take the $5 off of one of the larger bouquets to make it a little bit more affordable. But what ended up happening was people came and spent the $5 on the $10 bouquets, and somebody got her friend's card and then was like, here, I get a free $10 bouquet, which was not at all what I intended. So if I ever do it again, I would definitely put something on there about how maybe it has to be on a purchase over $25 or that you can't double up, something like that. But again, me just being like completely naive, I was not thinking about that. However, having those wedding cards was an A+ idea. I think I have one wedding for sure out of that. It's a smaller wedding, but that's fine. And possibly another 2. So I think for every single market I do, I'm going to have that wedding lookbook out and those cards. It was a really good talking point. And you know, if you can get a wedding out of it, like that's even more. As for the extra Mother's Day sales, it was worth it to do it. I sold an additional 4 bouquets. I did have quite enough tulips to do the size she wanted, so I just sort of split up what I had. And so I did $80 worth of sales, which was great. And so all together on that weekend, it was about an $1,100 weekend for me. Now, unfortunately, there were a lot of expenses. So for flowers and supplies, I spent probably about $400 to $500. Now for those supplies, a lot of those will be things I use the entire year, but I needed them at the beginning, so it just kind of came out of that paycheck. So it did take a good chunk into my profits, but such is life. And I always look at that first Mother's Day market as a way to just get my name out there, get people knowing about me. And a lot of times, like if people buy something from you once and they like it, they're more likely to buy from you again. And hopefully they'll come back and I'll be top of mind when they're thinking about flowers during the summer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about how I am trying to push those tulips out the door and make the most of those tulip sales that I can. We'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye-bye. Can you wave bye-bye? Can you go bye-bye? You go bye-bye. Are you shy?